message before. No
That's,
problem.
that's new.
I've never heard it before either.
Is it something the town is requiring or?
No, it's just
Or Zoom
probably
is doing
some new enhancement from Zoom. Too many
Oh.
people have said things they regret, not knowing the meeting's being recorded.
Yeah.
Oh. So, all right, well, I see 7 o'clock.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, Dave, how are you?
Hi, how are you tonight, everybody?
Good. We're just about ready to get going here, Dave, so.
Good.
All right, well, let me just ask, I know we're being recorded. Allison, Alice, you guys all set? We need any more time for anything?
We're all set.
Okay. All right then. All right, well, it is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 24th of May, 2021. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as the chair of the commission. With me here this evening is Mr. Michael Neustadt, who is the commission secretary. Dr. John Donovan, who is a regular member, and on the phone we have Mr. Dave Frankel, who is an alternate. So there are 4 of us. So all 4 of us will be voting members this evening. So with that, I think before I turn it over to you, Alice, just a quick note. Well, I guess I can do it in an informal discussion. We'll do it then. So on to wetlands enforcement.
All right, we've had no change on 148 North Lake Shore. 58 Old Grays Bridge Road, Ari did get back to me and said that they've extended the court dates again. So he's still waiting to hear about that. And in the meantime, he's going to see if he can get some of the work going again with possibly another company. So he's certainly trying to work on it.
Again, if you're not speaking, I know a lot of people have interest. If you're not speaking, if you could just put yourself on mute, that would be great.
Not busy.
So,
And then 83 Candlewood Lake Road, I haven't heard any updates from Tom on either. So that's about it.
okay. All right. Anybody have anything for Alice that they've want to bring to her attention or a question?
Sharon, excuse me, Sharon, can you hear me? It's Bob.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Bob. How are you?
Not a problem. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, are you the iPad?
I am the iPad.
Okay. All right. Well, then let me adjust our, let me adjust the meeting, the commission members this evening. I have just noticed that Mr. Bob Huddeman, who is also a regular member, is with us this evening. So he goes by the alias of iPad, but that's him because I recognize his voice.
All right, well.
So there are a total of 5 of us here this evening. Michael, John, David, and Bob. So welcome, Bob. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
And again, thanks for jumping in because I couldn't quite tell who that was. So
yeah, I can't quite see why I'm not getting a video, but I'll play with it another time.
yeah, it happens, you know, okay, so let's see, site inspection reports. Thank you for putting 100 Candlewood Lake Road on our pending list. I really appreciate that. All right, I think we'll go right then to old business. So first up we have is 1923 Station Road. So let's see, who's here for that, please?
Sharon, they've asked it to be continued, but they are aware that Tom Nelson is on the line and he is the third party going to be doing the third party review. So he just has a quick summary.
Oh,
and he'll have
okay,
a full report next time. Tom, are you able to unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Welcome. We're glad to have you.
Glad to be here. So yeah, our office is as busy as everyone else's, so I really haven't had a chance to dig in fully to this whole project and the reports and plans. But I did, do a fairly comprehensive initial review, and I thought it might be helpful just to keep progressing the application and to hear what the commission had to say. I thought I might give you kind of my initial thoughts on it tonight, if the commission wants me to.
don't think, we don't have anybody else on from the application, right? I don't see anybody.
No,
I think, yeah, because so they're not here. So, and I'm sorry, is it Thomas or Tom?
Tom is fine.
Okay, Tom is okay. All right. My thought would be, like I said, let's wait, until they are here. Again, we appreciate we appreciate you taking a look at it. We know, I think Alice just mentioned to me, we just secured your services in the last couple of days or so. So my initial thought, but I'll be eager to hear what my colleagues might say, is why don't we just defer some of your thoughts till you have a chance to really get a chance to take a look at it. And then with the applicant, so the applicant can be here as well. So that's my thinking, but let me ask my colleagues.
Sounds good.
That's fine, Sharon.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
okay.
Sharon, my only thought would be, do you want to tell Tom exactly what you
Sure.
expect from him, perhaps?
Yeah, well, I said, I'll offer it to my colleagues as well. Like I said, you probably saw this particular application is sort of surrounds, if you will, a wetlands area, and the development is dense. They are staying away from the wetlands on the south side, but it's very dense up around on the northern side of the property. And they've got storm drainage that some of it goes into I think into some storm detention. Some of it is going to go into the storm detention systems that exist on the town roads or the state roads. And then some of it also, there's detention galleries. And some of the water then has outflow into the wetlands, I think through some riprap. So from our vantage point, none of us are, have degrees in engineering like you do. None of us are stormwater management experts. We have, we've seen the application and the applicant's engineer a number of times, but we think it's just complicated enough that we would like to have a peer review of sizings, are they done correctly? Is there maybe a different way to do it to make sure that any water that is going to enter those wetlands that are there on again, it would be the northwest corner of the property, that water is clean and they've used the right, the right technologies, for the grit separators. Was there some different technologies that, that you might suggest? And so that's why we've asked. I said, we got water. Most of the time we just have water that is here and it's going there and then it's going over here, and here it's going all over the place as they try and accommodate, the site and the development that they want to do.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it certainly took me a little while to dissect the plans and understand what was going on. So I can appreciate the commission's viewpoint. We've done this for other towns as well. And so, I'll do my review sort of focused on the stormwater aspect of it. And, we'll look at, the current design and we'll see if we, can come up with some alternatives that we could kick around. But yeah, it's a very robust plan. So there's a lot going on there. I can appreciate your concern.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't think it's as much a concern, like I said, because we've seen their engineer. We think very highly of him. It's just that there's a lot going on in different places. And so, if there's different ways to do it, or again, our interest is to make sure, clean water goes into the storm drains, things are sized. That's one concern, that we don't have, more post runoff than we did pre.
Yeah.
From the site, and again, is the water that they are, planning to release into the wetlands, is that as clean as it can be? Commonly, we see a lot of times in Brookfield, we're aware of like the 2004 stormwater management, and we know that in general, they look for swales, to help clean the water and hold the water, before it goes its normal ways. This particular site, again, the way it's developed, the density, it doesn't, I think there's one rain garden in it, but there's, so that's, we're also wondering if there's any other, maybe possibilities for that. So.
Okay. Is there any downstream concerns other than the wetlands that I should be aware of?
Downstream in terms of like the stormwater capacity or?
Sometimes we'll have projects where there'll be a specific property or specific, maybe drainage structure that maybe somebody has voiced concerns on. But it sounds like really our primary concern on this one is sort of wetlands itself.
Oh, now I get your question. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes downstream, people have not sized culverts correctly or head walls or things like that, and you do end up with flooding. I'm not aware of anything like that on this particular property, but again, let me turn it over to my colleagues here. I don't need to hog the conversation.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten any complaints or concerns so far with this.
Great.
No, the water pretty much, the water goes from there through the wetland and then over towards, behind Dunkin' Donuts, and then it makes its way to the Still River.
Gotcha.
One of our concerns has to do with how close at least one of the roads and a retaining wall are to the wetlands. We're talking about very few feet. So that was something we looked at and questioned. So we're very concerned a little mistake could be catastrophic. This is the closeness to the wetlands. I have another concern, which my fellow commission members will remember me mentioning many times, and that's the numbers used when calculating the runoff from a 5-year event, a 25-year event, a 100-year event in terms of rain. And I have always felt that we need to be careful because we're seeing more rain, we're seeing climate change, we're seeing things different. And sure enough, today, I was reading that the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration just last week issued a new climate normal numbers, which is the baseline that I believe you and other engineers use to determine what the numbers should be. And what they've said is that they do it every 10 years. And in the last 10 years, the increase has been the largest they've ever seen from 2010 to 2020. So I just often ask the designers of the various projects we look at where they got their numbers and did they use the latest data.
Understood. Yeah, there's a number of different sources, and it's sort of I'll certainly, I can absolutely address that. But you're right, they have been trending upwards.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we're not going. It's too early to see results from statistics that were released last week, but it's something I think we should be concerned about.
Right. Sometimes I said if we were all sitting together, I'd look down like this, but because silence is a pause here.
So the only other question I'd ask is, my hope was to provide written comments about a week before the next meeting. If I know which is kind of just the nature of the beast.
Yep.
I know if I was CCA and I was given a week to try to address all that, I might be upset with me. I just wasn't sure if that was realistic, if that was reasonable, if there was more time on this, meeting if necessary.
Well, they did extend it, so we are considering that. First, if anybody gets mad at anybody, they get mad at us. They won't get mad at you. So, and facts are the facts are the facts are the facts. So nobody can get mad at the facts, right? So what has happened in the past is if you've got either an extra question or if you've got, a draft or something you want to run by them, what we've done in the past is sort of used Alice the land use office to sort of broker either broker a conversation or a phone call, or if you've got something you want to send as a draft or a final, if you send that to her, then she can send that right off to them. If a call can be of use, from your thinking or on their side as well, she can help broker that.
Okay. Very good.
I hope I said that right, Alice.
Yep.
Okay. All righty then. Well, again, we're very glad to have you. We appreciate your time. I said we look forward to trying, as I know the applicant does, they're always, they've done another project with them and they're trying to do things, in the most optimal, and certainly they got the wetlands, the best interest of the wetlands at heart. So.
Yeah, it really did feel to me like the water quality, they went above and beyond in this, but we'll dig into it deeper and we'll see you in 3 weeks, I think.
Okay, yeah, I think our next meeting, again, if you've got anything before then, you don't have to wait.
Yeah, my hope is
for
to
us.
provide like a written report probably in about 2 weeks.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, but our next meeting is the 14th, so,
Yeah, we're every 2 weeks.
except when we have holidays.
Oh, that's right.
And then we confuse everybody, so.
Yeah, it is the 14th.
All
Perfect.
right then. Again, Tom, thank you for
Thanks.
your time today. Thanks for the questions. I said we look forward to our next conversation.
Very good. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right. So how about a
Take
motion?
care.
How about a motion to continue 19 and 23 Station Road?
So moved.
So
All right. So Michael beat you. Dave, you want a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of the motion? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, so motion carries unanimous, 5-0. All right, next we have is 128 Federal Road. It's the commercial building. The decision date is Wednesday. Is Michelle with us?
Hello, for the record, Dinas Verbicus, our
Oh, hi,
engineering group.
Dennis.
Michelle is on vacation this week. So
All right,
she's
well.
up in upstate New York, enjoying the sights and sounds of nothingness, which I think is something that everyone should take every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah, she's
I understand.
camping in the campground, so it's all good.
That's all good. All
But she
right.
wishes her best.
All right, so Dinas, we have you. Is there anyone else from the project with you?
No, it's just myself. I think that also Neil Marcus, I think, was on a return trip from vacation. So he was going to try and chime in, but wasn't certain he'd make it.
Okay.
So not seeing him on the screen, I'm assuming he has not just yet made it. So since the last meeting, we'd submitted just a couple of documents, an updated landscape plan, and just I guess a summary letter from our office. Again, as you had noted, the application is for this 80,000 square foot parcel of land, long and linear, to be developed with a commercial development. Prior to the start of anything being done, our client had negotiated with the DOT to not take a swath of land across the frontage of the entire parcel, knowing what impacts that may have had. So they negotiated that with the state and actually granted the state easements in lieu of a taking of the property across the entire frontage. Taking across the entire frontage would have made this long and skinny parcel even more skinny.
I'm not sure I understand that. I don't, because I'm.
So
I don't understand what you everything of what you just said. The state wanted a taking on that property?
Yeah, the state DOT, as part of its program to put in sidewalks and what have you, actually had slated a 10 to 12 foot wide slice of that frontage to be taken away. And it was kind of mid negotiations or in the beginning of negotiations with our client, and our client actually, instead of having the state take that property, negotiated with the state so that, with the understanding that if the state didn't take the property, the client would offer them easements for the sidewalk and whatever else, grading may be required along that federal road frontage. So the parcel remains at its 80,000 square feet rather than being much less. So the proposal is, again, for the 4,800 square foot commercial building. When we initially submitted, there was roughly 425 square feet, probably a little bit more, of wetland loss, to which you all had suggested to Michelle that we go back to the drawing board and eliminate the intrusion into the wetlands. And we did just that. We modified the plans to be outside of the wetlands. So as proposed now, there is no wetland loss at all associated with the proposed development, though we're tight to the wetlands and along the back portion of the development, and through which we had proposed a retaining wall. At one of the prior meetings, you had asked that we hire a structural engineer to actually show that this wall can be built without intrusion into the wetlands. And we hired Patrick Conlon, local structural engineer. He developed a plan for the construction of that wall, and submitted a letter along with his plan stating that it can be built without intrusion into the wetlands. And lastly, the commission had asked about invasives, to which we have our landscape architect, Abigail Adams, prepared her plan, which we submitted on the 20th, I think, last week, basically with notations and some additional plantings. The notation stating that invasives to be removed from the wetlands, and there were supplemental plantings proposed to restore and enhance the wetlands that are on our parcel. So similar to what BJ's had done on the opposite side in cleaning things up, we would do on this side as well. So I think that we've followed up with with the requests that the commission had made, and have a plan that has no impact to no wetland loss, and in fact improves the quality of the existing wetlands on the property. And happy to bring up the drawings on the screen if you wish, or happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I, for one, do
Other
have
than
a
that,
question.
we hope that you'll view favorably on our application.
I do have a question on something you just mentioned. We've seen, or I've seen the letter from Conlon Engineering where he states that the wall could be built and not disturb the wetlands. But you mentioned that he or someone has put together detailed plans on the wall. And I don't know if we've seen them. Do we have a construction sequence specifically about the wall and detailed plans of how the wall will not only be constructed, but will where it will be, what its material is, etc.?
I am looking back. I know that the Conlon plans, the design drawing and the structural engineering letter were submitted to the commission on May 7th, or excuse me, May 10th. The documents were prepared a little earlier, but that
And if
should
you-
be on file. I can,
Actually, it's right, you can download it from the agenda. It's the third item from the bottom, retaining wall preliminary design.
Yeah,
I have, that's a letter, though. That's not the
But-
design.
that's, yeah, there's a letter and then there's a 2-page
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah, so
Um,
actually, it's a cross section just to show typically how that
Okay, I see.
Can be
It
construction.
goes on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's attached.
and
Okay,
pretty standard
Yeah.
construction. And for once, I want to say the beauty of it is that if the guy steps into the wetlands, it's all going to be reworked and the invasives removed. And Abigail has plantings right up against the wall, so anything that should happen or may happen will certainly have the opportunity to be corrected with the plantings that are proposed to supplement the existing wetland. So kind of it works nicely.
I'm not so convinced, and I've been a not so convinced. I know you haven't probably been here. It's been mostly Michelle's project, but I have been very concerned about the location of this wall so close to that wetlands. So I did read the letter. He does talk, Colin just talk about the the profile of the wall. But there's nothing here that talks about how the wetland is going to be protected, how that silt fence, is going to be installed, how the forms, are going to be, taken out, because there's no need, because there are feasible and prudent alternatives, to stay out of the wetlands. That building could be changed still. Maybe you get a drive-in, maybe you don't. I've also been concerned about
Dave, can you mute yourself?
yeah. I've also been concerned about, if you got to plow that, you got to keep, if you got a drive-in back there, you've got to plow that. And you're going to have to keep that thing clean. So which means you're going to have to use, sand or salt or whatever it is, to keep that clean. And that's going to fall right into the wetlands. It's right there. And we have nothing, there's nothing that says that isn't going to happen. So then the third problem I have is just, it's common knowledge, that wetlands over time, Mother Nature does whatever it is that she wants. And wetlands are not they are not an absolute precise science to the inch. And you guys are like 6 inches from a line, which probably is extrapolated from a couple of soil samplings that were done. So I have to tell you right now, I'm thinking there are alternatives. That building can be moved further away. Every other application that's been here, has taken some care so that you can construct things and maintain things such that nothing gets into that wetland either during the construction or afterwards.
Right, and well, and that's precisely what we've done. Is we've followed the guidelines, we've followed your recommendations to a T, and again, we're up close to the wetlands, but again, we've got a structural engineer that says it can be built.
No,
we've got,
Guinness, he doesn't say that it can be built. He says the feasibility for construction of a cast construction retaining wall near the wetland boundary. So he's talking about putting the wall in right next to it. He's not talking about actually what the construction sequence is. That's not here. Again, that's just the letter I have here. So, but my intent is not to be, I'm not trying to be argumentative.
Yeah.
So I am not right now, I'm not in support of this application, for what we have, for what we don't have. So I'm not supportive of it. I think there's other opportunities to relocate that building to give, what we do with other applications, 5 or 6 feet, and something that we can be sure that nothing is going to fall into those wetlands. I do appreciate, the offer to take the invasives out of the wetlands that are there and around the creek. And we got the plan on Thursday. I'm confident, it's a thorough plan, but there's a fundamental problem here. You're building a wall essentially right next to the wetlands. And there's opportunities to move it.
And I'm disappointed. Again, we we were asked to move it out of the wetlands. We moved it, and now
Well,
and
from
now
the
move it
very
more.
be-
The line keeps changing, and it's
Well-
it's a little frustrating and difficult to explain to a client why when you file the guidance continues to it keeps moving. It's a little frustrating. So and I know that you hear from everyone, just from me as well. So the now 6 feet or 5 feet is the magic number that we need to maintain from the wetlands. Is that what again, we're able to construct up against the wetlands, just like a contractor can build a building up against another building in the city. Things can be done. Caution needs to be taken when they under construction, and happy if the condition if the commission would consider conditions on an approval, recommending the step-by-step process that which should be followed to construct this. But again, we're confident that that this can be done without any impacts to the wetlands. And with respect to stormwater and snow plowing and so on, we've got stormwater management systems, 3 of them on the site, and each one with a swirl concentrator to capture any sediments that may be caught in the stream flow. But it seems that, well, people don't seem to be using sand that often anymore. It doesn't seem. But looking for guidance here is basically what I'm doing now.
Well, I said I have voiced my concern here, and from the beginning. So I said we've had other projects. We just had one over here. It's at least 6 feet away. So if you've got, that is going to give you enough room for, probably physically to be able to easily get some silt fence up, for the guys to do whatever they have to do, whatever that is, because we're still not clear, to be able to get around that retaining wall, take these forms off, do whatever they have to do. And it's going to, if you've got to plow sand that way, you've got a chance to keep the wetlands, to keep that sand from just dumping right into the wetlands. So is it 6 feet, 7 feet? Yeah, it's probably in that neighborhood.
I was surprised to hear you talk about the easement to the state, because one of the discussions we've had over the last few meetings was the possibility of getting a variance from the town to allow you to be a little closer to Federal Road and maybe gain 5 or 6 feet that way.
Yeah, so
Suddenly, it's
so-
obviously impossible.
Well, what would end up happening is, should we be so fortunate as to get a variance to, eliminate any of the grass strip or any remains of any kind of a shoulder, then the site gets too tight to negotiate with respect to vehicle turning movements. You end up, yeah, maybe now we're further from the wetlands, but now we've got a site that doesn't function, and maybe now, it ends up revising the site where the building gets snugged up to the front and all the parking and plowing and everything happens on the back of the site up against the wetlands. It's
What I was referring to is the possibility of moving everything, the parking, the roads, the building, and taking up some of that strip in front on the Federal Road side.
right.
If
But
you've
again, it
given
gets,
an easement to that, to the state for that property, then obviously you can't do that. I was just surprised to hear that it's so late in the game.
Well, again, and there's also options. I said, you've got a certain sized building, maybe the building needs to be smaller. as a possibility too. That also falls into alternatives, so.
Mm.
So I know, Bob, you haven't been here. Dave, John,
Just listening.
okay. All right, well, I
So-
said, Dinah, I said, we're up against it. There is a, there is the criteria is Wednesday.
Okay.
I said, you've heard what, we've said as a group, we've got to make a decision today. I'm thinking, I'm thinking about a motion that would deny it for the three reasons I just mentioned. Or you guys can withdraw it. And we can start fresh.
Okay, then there's no more time for any kind of extension or anything like that?
Well, I
Yeah, I
think,
don't
there-
think you've used
I
any
think,
extensions.
let's just check. So Alice is correcting me. It looks like there is not any extensions used. So I guess this was the original date of May 26th. So thank you for that, Alice. Yeah, you're right. The agenda doesn't have extensions on it, so. You want to ask for an extension? And
Sure,
consider
I
what
mean,
we've said?
we'll offer an extension
Okay.
to allow us to at least allow me to talk to the client
Okay.
and see which way they want to march.
Okay,
But I appreciate that. Alice, thank you for pointing that out.
correcting
I will
me,
need-
so thank you for that.
Sure. I will need a
Special
letter
thanks.
for you, Dinus, signed by the owner or power that be, asking for the extension.
You got it. We will,
Can we
We'll
pick a
forward
date,
that to you.
Dinah? You want to pick like June 14th? That's our next meeting.
sure,
Or
sure.
you can do it longer if you wish. I mean, there's no harm in going longer, but I just wanted to do my share
Yeah.
and make a
Yeah,
point. of
you know,
being where the speed was.
I prefer to go a little bit longer, so there's less stress on
Okay.
on our side and on your side. So I mean, we'll offer that up, Alice. If you so what that would be putting us at a 35-day or 45-day extension.
Yeah, if you did a 35-day, that would give you 2 meetings.
Okay.
So I think we're here on the 14th and then we're also here on the 28th, Dinus.
Okay.
So again, since, we're remote, if we were sitting right here, we would probably get, we'd get your handwritten written note, but we can go on your assurances, your verbal assurances that we'll get that.
You bet you
Okay.
will.
Yeah, I believe you. And so at least they're going to extend it to at least the 28th of June.
Okay. Yes.
Does that sound, I'm not trying to push you one way. I'm trying to be helpful.
No, but again, it's nice to have a deadline, but it's also nice where, it's not a everyone drops deadline.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
So we'll certainly target for the 14th, all things being buttoned up, but it's good to know that it's not the
We're
end.
not out of time. Yeah. All right, then. So again, thanks, Dinus. So again, we acknowledge your, verbal extension to June 28th. We appreciate that, you'll get a written note there to the land use office as quick as you can.
Okay.
And unless there are any other questions, I'll take a motion then to continue 128 Federal Road.
I'll make a motion to continue 128 Federal Road, item W-21-15, to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry, who was the second? Was that Bob?
Bob, correct.
Oh, hi, Bob. Thank you. All right, so Bob seconds. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries 5-0. Thanks,
And,
Dennis.
And Dennis,
Thank you, folks.
forgive me for getting your name wrong at the beginning. I think I
No, that's okay.
portrayed.
It's, I've been called all sorts of things. Some I
Now I
can't
know.
repeat.
All right, thanks, Dinus.
Thank you.
All righty, so that's going to take us next to 6 Hollow Oak Lane. Is that Mr. Keen? I think I see you there. And I'm sorry, am I getting it right, Mr.? Is it Keen or Kane? I'm sorry.
It's Keen. Hi.
Keen, all right, great. So I got it right the first time, good. I think where we left it the last time, it was just a matter of just trying to tidy up the plan that you have and get the distances on it. I think that's where we left it, right?
Yeah, and a couple of corrections on the application itself, as far as upland.
Oh, the upland review area, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
acreage for the upper review area.
More like square
Or square
footage.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I put the dimensions in and referenced how far the dry well will be approximately from the house and what the offset it is to the edge of the stream. And also put a dimension on the plan referencing where our property line is relative to the back of the house. So back of house to center of dry well is 30 feet. And then we've got another 10 feet from there to the edge of the stream.
Right, I see that. I see they got nice little pop-ups there, so. All right, so 10 feet from the dry well to the edge of the stream. They got the silt fence. We know the size of it. We got the application straightened out. I don't have any other questions. You got silt
Yeah,
fence.
what I found out when I went out to measure that the stream comes into our property, like I had it hugging the property line the last time, it actually comes into our property a little.
Okay. All right, let me ask Dave, Bob, John, Michael, any questions? Other questions? I think this is fine. If that's,
I'm comfortable.
yeah. All right.
I read the minutes on this. His response to this seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Bob. All right. If there isn't anything, then someone want take a stab at a motion to incorporate this
Sure.
map and the date and all the normal stipulations?
I can do my thing. I'd like to make a motion to approve 6 Hollow Oak Lane, item number W-21-18, to install a drain assembly in a crawl space, based on a drawing submitted and dated, and I don't see a date on it.
We could maybe try a GIS map.
It's a
Printed
GIS,
before
here it is, I just
amended.
found it, I found the date. A
Yeah.
GIS made dated 5/4/2021 and amended on 5/14/2021, with all the usual stipulations to be effective the day after publication.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All right, was that, I think that was John?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion? Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, well, the motion carries unanimous. All right, Mr. Keen, good luck with the project.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
very
so you
much.
know, you'll see you'll get a printed motion, eventually you'll get a copy of it. It's got to be published. Again, it'll say the key feature is, once you decide to get the project going and get the silt fence installed, just give the land use office a call. Give Alice a day or so.
Badger Alice.
Yeah, to
Should be used to it at this stage.
yeah, she loves getting out, seeing the silt fence installed correctly. So, so just give her a call, get the silt fence, approved, and then you're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
So
and we
I'll-
are still, by the way, we are still watching your, we're still tracking your note. And I don't think, well, we have him, Alice, I know you sent a follow-up to the town. We don't have anything back yet from them, do we?
No, and I sent it to Paul Checo of the Building Commission, as well as, who else? Oh, Ed Wadowski. And I think Josh Flowers too. So, and I asked for return receipts, and they did receive the email asking for their response. So they might be waiting to have their next meeting. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Okay,
But we haven't forgotten about you, and you're still on the agenda, so
thank you. Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
All right, I'm going to sign off then.
Okay, take care.
All right,
Take
thanks.
care.
Have a good night.
All right, I think that's all the old business, which is going to take us on to new business. And the first thing I have is 12, it's Mudry, right? Is there someone here from 12 Mudry Farm Road?
Yes, it's me. It's Dinus.
Oh, Dinus, okay, great. So let's just take a quick look at the application here. Get to the right hot link here. That all fired up. So this is a 2-lot subdivision. Lot A, an existing residence. Lot B is another residential lot with single-family home, driveway, pool, septic system. Total acreage, 3.5, disturbed wetlands, 0, total wetlands, about a half an acre, disturbed linear, 0, and total linear feet of it. So there's a little stream on there, 168 linear feet. So, all right, so that's that. So Dinus, why don't you tell us what this is about?
So this is a proposed subdivision of a 3.5 acre parcel of land located at the 12 Mudry Farm. Mudry, I call it Mudry, maybe it's Mudry.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But as you enter into Mudry Farm Road, from I guess going westward, you take a right-hand turn in, and it is the property that's immediately on your right-hand side. I found on that parcel what appears to be remnants, perhaps of a structure from a long time ago, stone foundation type of appearance. And as you go a little bit further or to the south on Mudry Farm is the existing home at which the homeowners live on this parcel. We're proposing to split the parcel pretty much down the middle, with a line going generally from west to east from Mudry Farm to the woods and the wetlands in the back. There is a drainage easement that compromises the property a little bit. So we've pushed our proposed home a bit northward on the parcel. And I'm sorry, are you folks following along on a screen somewhere, or do you want me to
Yeah,
show you on the screen?
I just launched the plan myself, so that's what I'm staring at while you're talking.
Yeah, I have it open as well.
Yeah,
Okay. Happy to do it either way. And I'm staring away from the screen looking at my drawings as well.
yeah.
So yeah, there's a short drainage easement that slices into the property, and it is generally where the site drainage from the road and development discharges. We have proposed our home and driveway a little bit to the north of that drainage easement, and our proposed development at its nearest point will be about 30 feet away from the wetland. And the wetland is pretty well defined on this property. And the property itself is a little disorienting in that it seems smaller than it actually is. And that when we were doing our soil testing on the property, I thought, it was a bit further back and was expecting to see the wetlands, but the wetlands in fact are quite a ways down the slope. So all of our development is located well enough away from any wetland area. We've got ample room for a septic system, for a future pool, should a future homeowner desire it. And it would be, I guess, a welcome addition to the neighborhood.
So
I'm happy to
Dinah's-
answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah,
But,
Dinah, so I'm looking at the plan, I'm looking at sheet. You tell me if this is the right one to look at here, because I had to make it a little. bit
Probably
bigger.
sheet 3 is the one you want to look
I
at.
think so. Let me just double check here. Yeah, sheet 3. So what is going on? Let me just zip back here. What's going on near flags? Whoa, wetlands flags. Let me just slide that over here. 9, 10, and 11.
So 9, 10, and 11 are the, it's basically a riprap that is from the end of the drainage ditch that was installed as part of the subdivision.
So you're saying that riprap that's there that sort of extends where wetlands flag 10 is existing?
Correct. And, again, the wetlands were freshly delineated by Jim McManus.
Okay,
I'm going to say probably in April.
okay.
I don't have the report in front of me. I'll tell you precisely.
And that existing stuff, it's from the road, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. Jim McManus was out there in September of last year.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, so all the runoff is from the road itself and from the subdivision itself. It all tends to drain from west to east.
And you've got footing drains from the home that are sort of headed on a line parallel towards, towards wetlands flag 11, but some number of feet away.
Correct.
And that ends in some riprap? Is that?
Yeah,
there's
we've got
fill
a
there,
little
right?
stone. Correct. We've got a little stone that's proposed at the roof and footing drain outlet. So we'll have a couple of pipes going in that direction.
And again, I'm looking at, a zoomed version. Can you just help me with the legend? What's that? What's the crosshatch stuff there right in that area?
So
There's two
the
crosshatch
crosshatch area is the surveyor's depiction of steep slopes.
Oh,
So these are just, small sections of steep slope areas that were included on the map as part of the calculation for planning and zoning requirements.
so do you
Sorry
know?
for the confusion on that.
Yeah, there's actually 3 of them now that I stare at it. There's 3 little squares there. Do you know does one of these maps show the extent of the yard?
Of the
They were
existing
planned-
yard or the
Yeah.
proposed?
The proposed yard.
So actually, good question. And if you go to sheet number 4 in your plan set, it's basically our erosion control drawing.
I'm scrolling down
And
there.
for the most part, anything that is located to the west of that erosion control line is the limits of our proposed construction. So everything is limited pretty much like every other home, or at least like the existing home that the property owners have now.
I'm a little confused. In that area where you were looking, there seems to be a stream drawn on the map, and there's a line here. It says 100 feet upland review area from stream. The
Yeah,
stream
so,
just seems to
so,
end there. Does it go anyplace? Does it?
so what we have, to be on the cautious side, we have proposed the outfall point of, the pipe that discharges out from the road drainage. From that point onward, we decided that that would be the most conservative way to depict our setback to wetlands.
So does the stream
So-
start at that point and run away from the house?
Correct. If
Running up on
we're,
this plan, which
again,
I
and-
believe is south, if I know the area correctly.
Again, and we're calling it a stream, but that's the actual end of the pipe. So the road
Okay.
drainage goes out, dumps out, and, we're just saying that, yep, from that point onward, we're gonna count it as, a stream or something that we should stay away from.
Understood. Thank you.
So again, no impacts to that proposed, no impacts to any wetlands on the property at all are proposed.
Hmm.
For once, an easier one.
So I'm trying to grab, so the topo's right at where your foundation drains are. That's sitting at about, I'm trying to find, that's about 496.
Yeah,
Right.
give or take. 494, 496, right in that area.
Yeah, and it probably heads down to 494. So it's steep right around there, and then it flattens out, it looks like.
Yeah, well, it flattens out a little bit. The surveyors oftentimes don't include the topographic features in the wetland.
Yeah.
Only because they feel that no one's going to touch the wetlands, so why topo them? But again, if you look on the outer boundaries of the wetlands, it's a rather gentle wetland area. And certainly if you go out to the property to take a peek, you'll concur. Just watch for ticks. There's loads of them.
Oh, yeah, I was just walking down the driveway. I think I picked up a one plant and I ended up with one on me. So they're all over the place.
I sent my letter into the Newtown Health District today after pulling one off.
Ugh. I hope I hope you got him in. I hope you got him in time.
I hope so too.
Yeah, it's unnerving.
Yep, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm happy to answer any questions that you folks might have or or anything that you'd like me to do from between now and the 14th.
All right. No, I think it's worth going out to take a look at. I appreciate, that the silt fence could be a, kind of like the extent of the grass. I'm only wondering about, I know we got, street water, right, draining right into the wetlands with nothing. Nothing to stop it from ending up in the wetlands, but I'm wondering what could we do to make sure any sort of like lawn fertilizers or chemicals are not, don't just, find their way and sheet flow into that, whatever that riprap is, sort of around like, wetlands flag 9. That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Yep. Well, in that area, if you wish, we can certainly, if the commission would consider maybe some kind of a condition that you maintain a 10-foot no grass plant strip or something similar to what First Light requires its applicants. to protect the lake. I mean, they oftentimes look for some form of a non-grass buffer to the lake.
Right, because you're probably that, like I said, that is what about, looks like it's about 20 feet or maybe, I don't have the, but
Yeah, or
15 feet to wetland flag 9.
yeah, so I mean, I can throw a scale on it. Yeah, roughly 20 feet, 22 feet, something like that. And, we don't necessarily have to discharge to that point either. I mean, we can point it elsewhere. I just didn't want to disturb more land. So I thought, let's keep it all clustered in the same area.
Yeah, no, I'll just speak for myself. I'm not too worried about foundation drain water. Into the, whatever that riprap thing is that handles the storm drain from the street. I'm not too concerned about that. That water is clean, it's, even if for some reason they have some strange thing happens there, it's, looks like it's likely going to go right into that riprap there. It's not going to slide to 9 necessarily. I'm thinking about, like I said, what could we do to make sure, because you're on a downhill slope. I mean, it's a gentle decline, into the wetlands. What can we do to make sure we're not introducing phosphorus and nitrogen in there?
Right. So again, and again, we can look to push those elsewhere. It would just create a little bit more disturbance. But again, if we were to realign those pipes and say have them go out towards directionally towards wetland flag number 7, and end it, we'd have to move the silt fence out a little bit, but end it about the 494 contour there. That'll give quite a bit more buffer to the wetlands, if you wish. And again, right now, this is a conceptual plan just to show that it can be developed.
Sure. Can you comment, or can someone comment on, again, just, you're in that area of wetlands flag, 8 and 9-ish, are there any big trees they got to take down in that area? Again, 8 and 9-ish areas?
I can report back to you on that.
Okay.
I don't remember. I mean, there were trees on the property,
Sure.
but a lot of the stuff as I went in off the road, I mean, it was mostly pricker bushes and the like.
Ugh.
It wasn't fun,
Okay.
although it was a sunny day, so that was good when I did my soil testing.
Yeah. And is there any, I mean, again, thinking about trying to keep phosphorus and nitrogen out of the way, is there reason the house is there and maybe not shifted more to the right? Maybe even further away from that storm drain and the driveway?
I thought of shifting it to the right, but I thought, if I push it, I mean, right now we're lined up with the northernmost home in the development. And if I pushed it more towards, 133, then, you're now creeping away kind of from the neighborhood and whatever. I mean, I guess it could be moved a little bit, but.
And in fairness to the resident, 133 going uphill there can be kind of noisy.
Exactly. And I don't know that a couple feet is going to make a difference, but again, I just thought let's keep ourselves in relative distance with our neighbors and be part of the neighborhood rather than somewhere standalone.
Okay, well, it's just a thought. Maybe we might be influenced. I said, if you guys could take a look at the trees that might come down, right? I said right in that area between, if there are any that need to come down or could be disturbed, by your silt fence line, again, right in that area of 8, 8 and 9-ish, obviously closer to 9-ish. Because I'm assuming there's no trees that have to come down between 9 and 11, in that sort of general area. All right, those are all my questions for now.
Perfect.
Bob, Dave, John, any questions for you guys?
Yep.
All right. All right, then will someone make a motion then to continue 12, I think it's Moodry. We'll say Moodry, Moodry Farm Road, Moodry, Mudry,
Just the M word.
just the M word. All right, well then I'll make a motion then. Well, I'll make a motion to continue 12 Mudry Farm Road, whichever, W 21-19 to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. That was
Uh,
Bob, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries unanimous. Thanks, Dinus.
Thank you, folks. Have a great night.
Okay,
Good
happy
evening.
Memorial Day. All righty, so next we have 12 Bonnie Road. It's an in-ground pool. Is there someone here for that?
Yes. Good evening. For the record, Ralph Gallagher,
Okay,
representing the applicant, the Medinas, who somebody's on the screen. And I think it's 2 Bonnie Road.
is it, what did I say?
It's 2, yes.
Oh, did I say, sorry if I messed that up. And I'm sorry, you're the person who corrected me there?
Gina Medina, I'm the
Hi.
homeowner.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, let's just take a quick look at the application here.
Okay. The application is for a swimming pool in an upland area between the home and the leaching system. The leaching system is pumped up to. The access for the pool construction would be from Tower Road, where the access for the driveway for the dwelling is off of Bonnie Road. So there's no disturbance around the house or near the or in the wetland. Pool will be constructed kind of remotely with a little construction area, roadway or access way to get in and out from the pool area that's very flat. All materials will be removed from site, not stored anywhere, so there's no need for a stockpile area. And it's just a small swimming pool and sort of simple construction. Fence surrounding it to prevent any disturbance from going into the wetland, although it can't go into the wetland to the east because that's not hydraulically below where the construction of the pool would be. And it's really not hydraulically above the wetland to the west either. It more is hydraulically above the septic tank and the septic tank pump and the dwelling. So, and it's very flat, so chances of runoff are very small.
As a matter of.
While you were talking,
Matter of
Ralph,
identi-
I opened the application and it says disturbed wetland 0 and disturbed water course 0. So we're bringing that to everyone's attention.
Ralph, as a matter of identifying the property, was that Ralph Tremeglio's and Linda Tremeglio's property, which is right on the
Sorry,
corner?
I'm sorry, you're kind of distorted. I didn't understand what you said.
Was that Ralph Tremeglio and Linda Tremeglio's property before the new owners bought it?
Oh,
So
I
right
have
on the
no,
corner.
I have no idea.
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. I can identify better. I've been to that residence, so I know I'm somewhat familiar with it.
Okay.
Bob, I see you've turned from an iPad to your name, so good for you.
You got it.
Real high tech now.
It's real high tech. Now we know when we have problems, we can just reach to Bob. So, hey, fix this.
And I just haven't. All right.
All right, so I'm just downloading this plan here.
Well, while it downloads, I'd like to offer some information. The last application, I knew Bobby Moodry and his father. It was Moodry Farm. And
Oh.
they're the ones that did the subdivision. So it is pronounced Moodry.
Okay. All right.
That's
Well,
correct.
thank you.
He's right.
Thank you for that. I'll try to remember.
That's Moodry. That's correct.
Moodry. All right. I should say it 3 or 4 times. Hopefully I'll get it. All right. So we've got, all right, right, so I see the wetlands flags. 6543.
We also have a soils report from Jim McManus, and
Okay,
he describes everything, although, and it was obviously flagged by Mr. McManus and located by the surveyor, so, and it's on an A2 survey, so
yeah, I see that. Thank you.
all accurate.
So this includes the pool and is the shed there now?
Correct.
Okay. You guys gonna have to put up a fence for this pool?
I'm sure the fence will be outside we show a little 3-foot patio. I'm sure the fence will be outside the patio.
Okay, is it possible to put that fence on this plan?
I would have to get that specific information from either the pool contractor or the owner, how they want to do it. I will do that, yes.
Yeah, I said because it is, I said it would be an activity in the, I'm just trying to get, I can see, because how far, can you help Ralph from?
Yes.
Like wetlands A4 to,
About
the
30,
line of
about 28 to 30 feet that way. And the other way is about almost 55 feet.
From A4 to the pool is about 20 feet, you said.
Yes, 22, yes.
Okay.
And for the other number 4 flag, which is weird, but it's another number 4, is about 50 something.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There are. Oh, thank you for that. There's one on the left and there's one on the top side.
Well, one is A4 and one is just 4. See, that's the thing.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. Thank you for that. And this is the kind of pool that doesn't require any sort of backwash that could find its way to drain into the wetlands?
I believe that's the case, yes. We don't show they didn't tell me about a backwash or anything, so.
Are they gonna, are they gonna have some, they gotta have some mechanicals in here, right? A pump or or a heater maybe? Is that on the plan?
That was not indicated for me, but that could be either down by the house or it could be up by the pool. I didn't have any specifications on that portion of it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, wouldn't it be beneficial to, to the owner to get this on the plan so it just gets done once?
We could do that, yes. As you know, 'tis the season for pools, and the more
Yeah.
we keep going,
Yeah,
tis not the season.
right.
So we could certainly show that.
And that dark line that's sort of running, sort of between the shed over,
Yes, I'm sorry, I missed that in the presentation. That is, we need to relocate the 2-inch force main from the pump to the septic system. But that's just a small 2-inch. We just relocate.
okay,
And
well, let's get,
Sharon, I did speak with Paul Avery and he said that, yes, that's fine. The
Oh, okay.
location, et cetera.
oh, okay, well, we might, again, trying to get everything on the, so you only have one application and one everything, so nobody has to come back. Is it maybe, is that on the application? Maybe we can add that to it?
We can certainly pencil it in and we'll come and sign it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If we can get everything that they want to do, that needs to be done, on the plan, then, we can take a look at the whole thing and, probably good to go and be done with the fence and the construction for the relocation of the force main. I think that's just easier for everybody.
Sure. We can put the reconstruction of the force main, can we put the mechanicals,
And the mechanicals, where they want the fence,
right?
and then just, what is just some documentation to warrant what you say that, that the mechanicals for the pool don't require a backwash, that,
Correct.
right?
All right, so those 3 things, the mechanicals, whether the backwash situation, the relocation of the force main and the fence, that's 4
That's what I'm thinking right now, yeah.
Okay. Is that something the enforcement officer could see when we bring it in? Or did you want to see that as a commission?
Please ask your question again. I didn't understand it.
Would that be something that Alice could look at and sign off on, or was that be something that the commission needed to review?
Well, let's get it, let's get the, like I said, let's get everything on the plan.
Okay.
It doesn't look like they've got to take any trees down there in between, say, the pool and wetlands flag A4. Is that right?
That's right. I don't think there's any, it's gonna be a 2-foot cut and a 2-foot fill, and no trees should be, no large trees should be affected at all. There's very small trees.
Okay.
And
So let's just get that noted. You can just handwrite that on the plan someplace, Ralph, like
Okay.
no trees, no trees have to come down in the upland review area for the pool.
Okay.
That's all I'm thinking about right now. Again, from my colleagues.
No, just what you've asked for to see on the plot. Everything else makes sense.
Yeah. I think if we get those, and we're not startled by anything else, this looks pretty straightforward.
We can do that. We'll have that to you the next couple of days, and then what is it? The next meeting would be
Yeah, it's the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
Memorial Day between. There's Memorial Day and then the 14th. So,
the 14th. Very good.
okay. Anything else for us?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Then I'll take a motion to continue.
I will move to continue to Bunny Road, item W-21-20 until the next regularly scheduled meeting.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Bob. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous. Thanks. All right.
Thank you
guys.
very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we do not have any tabled items. We've talked already about 7A that we're tracking. A response from Mr. Keen. Minutes of other commissions. Okay, review of the previous minutes from our May 10th meeting.
I did read them and I saw no issues, so I'd be willing to I will make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
All right, do I have a second? All right, I think that was John.
Right,
All right, thank you. All right, so all those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, and Bob, I know you might abstain.
I abstain, correct.
Yep,
And I did say accept, I meant approved.
okay.
All right.
All right, so we'll call the motion there. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
One abstention,
Yep, one, no opposed, and we have one abstention.
correct.
Okay, it's motion carries 4-0 to 1. All right, informal discussion. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I mentioned this in an earlier discussion, but as you all know, I've spoken about this a few times and asked about where these numbers come from when and a plan says that they can handle a 100-year storm or a 50-year storm or a 25-year storm. There was a long article in today's New York Times. Turns out that NOAA actually produces this, keeps the records of this, has for over 100 years. And they have released the latest numbers, which they do every 10 years, with an indication that the change from 2010 to 2020 is the most that has ever been seen in the 100 years or so that they've been tracking it for a 10-year period. I would continue, I think, to ask, especially if there's issues with runoff and being able to handle it, that who's ever doing the design of these properties take into consideration the most current numbers. and maybe even be a little more conservative because the trend is in the Northeast, the trend is for significantly higher rainfalls.
Sure stand some right now, that's for sure.
Well, yes, we could.
Yeah, but that's just a little point in time, so not a.
Exactly, and
Right.
you know how it works. But that's one of the things that's happening is the temperature difference causes probably real difficulties in forecasting, not the temperature difference, but the fact that the climate is very different. And they use models based on what's happened from a given condition to how much rain you're going to get in the next week or the next day or the next hour. And with all these things changing, I'm not so sure that the models that the computers are using are that accurate anymore.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great set of questions, and it is resonating with the people we talk to, so. So thank you for that. I haven't had a chance to read that paper. I'm gonna go and look for that, so I'm gonna go look for that, I'm gonna go look for that article. I mean, that's all, that's the useful stuff.
It's headlines, you think it's a political.
Through,
Yeah, you think it's a political article because the headline is the United States is getting redder, which scared me a little bit. But what they're talking about is red as in the red in the thermometer. As the weather gets hotter, you see more red.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. I think that's something we definitely want to keep track of. Again, riparian buffers. That's still, we want to keep on that. Road maintenance. Definitely want to keep thinking about that. I also wanted to mention I got a copy of a note from Tom Beecher. I think he copied all the commission chairmen, and I think he copied you as well, Alice. It came on Thursday, the 20th. I'll just share what he wrote, and I don't know any more about it than this. It just said the governor released a new executive order which extends certain prior orders and repeals others. He said, see attached, and then his last sentence says the remote meetings may continue through June 30th. As well as meeting notices can still be published on the town website. So I wanted, since I got that, I wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, if you could let us know so we can put it in the minutes, whether it will be Zoom or in person for June.
Do you need to know that right now?
Yeah, well, we have to know it by next week so we can post the agenda properly. And actually, anybody who has to notice abutting neighbors should know how to do that too.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not get, when I scanned that, I did not get that as a to-do.
Yeah, it's just for June. So if you want to keep doing Zoom, we can just continue. If you want to do in person, we just need to make sure we have a meeting room and notify, any applicants.
Oh, okay. Well, did everybody hear that? We have a decision in front of us here about, or an option, I guess. An option to keep doing these on Zoom for
Two meetings.
for two more meetings.
If we have a meeting, if we go to the town hall, we have an open meeting, we have to wear the face mask.
I didn't hear what you said.
If we have a meeting where we're all together, do we have to wear the face mask?
I will. I'll just tell you, I will. I mean, I'll just be candid. I mean,
right now in town hall, they are still asking people to wear face masks. We wear them at work.
Okay.
You think that'll change after June? No.
I don't know. The other thing that we're able to continue until June 30th is just posting on the website instead of using the newspapers. So we'll see if that continues or becomes permanent.
I think I would be more comfortable if we did a couple more meetings, the 2 June meetings on Zoom. I know we'll eventually have to take the leap.
Yeah,
I'm inclined to agree with Mike.
yeah. I kind of feel the same way. I'm eager to get back to being in person, but, you know, this thing isn't completely snuffed out yet, so. So
Okay.
is that a general consensus? Michael, and I'm okay, John, Bob, I think you said you're okay. Let me ask John.
Do we have any way of enforcing or even finding out if everyone who would come to a in-person meeting has been vaccinated?
I don't think by law. I don't think by law you can have.
Can we even ask that?
My understanding is you cannot.
Okay,
That's a personal thing.
Well, and I think we'll get further guidance as we go along too.
Right.
Okay. So it sounds like we are, everyone is in agreement that we'll continue the wetlands meetings for our 2 meetings in June, at least until we learn something else. That at least our next meeting will be on Zoom, you know, and almost certainly our meeting after that will be on Zoom. So.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Sounds like, is that enough, Alice?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Whew, boy, the complexities never end, do they? All right, anything else from you guys? If not, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, that was. All right, that was Bob, and Bob made the motion. John seconded it. I always say that. I get that right?
Yep.
All right, so all those in favor to adjourn, aye.
aye.
Any opposed?